We saw the #1 team in the country go down. Purdue lost at Northwestern in overtime, 92-88. Fun fact, more turnovers in overtime for Purdue than Northwestern had in the entire game. That is a wild stat. How worried should we be, not just about Purdue, but about the Big Ten as a whole, right? We've kind of – you talked about those, Robbie Hummel, a lot. Like, the Big Ten is not great.
It's the little 10
year, right?
this year.
Yeah, the little 10, the mid-10. But if you're not going to have that great Purdue team, that's absolutely insane. And look, I don't think it's a great sign that they lost at Northwestern. It's also an overtime road loss in league play. That stuff is going to happen sometimes in the sport, right? I think it's a concern that I'm going to say this stat again. They had more turnover. Purdue had more turnovers in overtime than Northwestern had in the entire game. That kind of sums up the issues with this Purdue team. Let's just say that this is more an example of Purdue not being great than just for argument's sake.
Could it be a matchup issue, Rob? Because this is the
I just
second
want to know,
straight
like,
year.
if it's not, well, it 100% is a matchup issue. But
Style.
if Purdue's not great, what does that say about the Big Ten as a conference?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you look at it and you say to yourself, all right, Michigan State has not looked great, right? They were the other team that was supposed to kind of carry the mantle for the Big Ten this year. And Tal Izzo's team has, frankly, not looked very good. Indiana, yeah, they pounded Maryland, but, like, we don't know if that's any good. Maryland's been atrocious this year, right? Like, Ohio State's been pretty good lately. Like, they might be the second-best team in the league right now.
So here,
Michigan,
let's
not
get into
great.
Let's get into some of the questions from the chat, because this is a perfect segue to a question from Andy. And he said,
Is this Katz about the Big Ten?
Yes, it's from Andy Katz. Here we go again with Purdue. How concerned
It's not Katz.
should I be?
It's definitely not Katz.
It's not Katz.
It's negative about the Big Ten.
Yeah. No.
It's definitely not Katz.
I love you, Andy.
Just saying.
How concerned should a Purdue fan be about Purdue right now?
Like, not that concerned. I mean, listen, they're going to win a ton of games in the regular season. Like the key is figuring out, if you're Matt Painter, who you're going to play alongside Zach Edey. And, like, enough of this revolving door stuff. You got to figure that out. And maybe it's going to take him another 5 or 10 games. But by February 1st, Rob, Matt Painter has to know, like, this is who I'm riding with. Because ultimately, you're going to play in the NCAA tournament against a team that's small. The first game, they're going to play against probably a 16, maybe a 15 seed. Smaller team again.
Here's what I'm going to say.
How are you going to beat them? How are you going to beat them?
Here's what I'm going to say. This is a lot of more of the same. I'm also willing to sit here and say that this was a road loss in overtime. And look, can we give some credit to Boo Booey? Like, sometimes dudes just go off.